What's going on, guys? Non-intellectual intellectuals here, back for episode 5. Today we're joined by Robert,
Hello, how's it going, everyone?
Hunter,
Happy to be back for episode 5. Surprised we made it this far.
Ryan,
G'day, g'day.
and Josh.
Robert Jorick is a big smelly bum-headed ligma.
Good intro.
That's
Yes.
good as.
Oh, that is
What we need.
fucking good.
Best one yet. You're welcome, please.
Alright, shit. So unfortunately, lads, today we aren't joined by Oliver due to leash and collar circumstances, but we won't talk about that. We'll have a good episode nonetheless. So before we get into the topic, I want to bring something up that we discussed. So we wanted to do like a little segment in the episode, and we want the audience to sort of ask us questions about anything, whether that's like, I don't know, existential. So like, what happens when the sun dies, or like, I don't know, would you fuck your teacher for $1 million, or fucking year 10 humanities teacher for $1 million? Whatever it is, doesn't matter. But
Basically, any question you want to ask us and have it answered on the podcast in future episodes, just send it in. It can
So,
be
yeah.
anything. It can be advice. It can be, potential for humor. Anything you want, just send it
Yeah.
in. Non-intellectuals answer your questions.
So yeah, just comment on the YouTube, the YouTube channel rather than whatever else. But yeah, so yeah, we thought that'd be pretty funny, and yeah, we'll see how it goes.
And we'll be running that segment at the end of each episode from now. Is that right?
That is correct.
Sweet.
That is correct. But yeah, today's episode, we're going to be discussing the topic of aliens. So yeah, what do we reckon of this Pentagon footage that has been released as of recent, boys?
Um,
You go, Rob. Go.
I was just gonna say, it seems pretty realistic. Well, for anyone that hasn't seen it, it's pretty much years ago it got leaked, and it's now just kind of like the Pentagon, like they've released it officially, just going like, yeah, that video was real, but we've looked into it and we don't know what the fuck this is. So it's pretty fucking cool. Like if it is real, the ship itself moves like like an alien ship, as you would think. So I don't know what else it could be.
But it's just like unidentified flying object.
Yeah, it could be other militaries, obviously. But
Yeah,
But
but
you'd think like their scanners would be able to pick that up.
yeah, exactly. Like
Like that it was another military craft.
they'd know what it was, if it was something they were like something they created and were familiar with and testing on. But they've said they've got no idea what it is. So, and the way the thing flies is really fucking pretty bizarre. When you say,
As in how?
have you seen it?
Yeah.
Like how it's flying like on its side and like sort of not showing much, I don't know, movement. And
Yeah, the only thing I don't get about the video is like what perspective is the video taken from? Like, are we looking
Yeah,
at the sky,
that's what I was
or
gonna
like
say.
are we on a horizontal plane? It was really hard for me to gauge just from that what we're looking at.
yeah, that's probably fair.
And was the footage, was the object in question, was it actually in our atmosphere, or was it like
yes,
orbiting Earth?
No, it was in our atmosphere.
Yeah.
But the footage is pretty rough. Like it does look like it's filmed a long time ago. Or it's just low quality because they couldn't obviously zoom up enough or whatnot.
It's thermal imaging, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. Like
Yeah.
it's
Have you,
it,
have
Hey?
you seen what the pilots say? What they said about it?
no, what they say?
Well, like they've never seen anything like this, and they've never seen anything this quick before. And I think there was like 2 or 3 like fighter jets. So,
What fighter just following it?
well, I guess they happened to be in the air, and when they saw it, they started, I guess, following it. But they're like, "Fuck, what is this?"
Yeah,
They were
right.
like spooked.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, on that note, then, what do you cunts reckon about aliens? Do they exist?
I mean,
Well-
like we found these. What do you consider to be an alien? Like, do you want like ET? Do you want like walking, talking, like human features, or do you want like bacteria on Mars? Because we
Well,
found the bacteria on Mars. Like aliens are out there.
Wait,
Yeah, but
what?
no one gives a
Is that
fuck about the
confirmed?
bacteria. Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
yeah, no one gives a
We
fuck.
want to see a big fucking fuck off ET alien.
Yeah,
And,
that's it.
and do you want them to be like Paul, or do you want them to be like xenomorph?
I think it's impossible. Like, well, obviously, you boys already know my opinion on aliens is that if you're a person that says, "Oh no, it's impossible, aliens aren't out there,"
You're daft.
you're basically a fucking idiot
Yeah.
because you know, we have explored next to zero of our universe because it's practically impossible with our technology at this point. And there's bound to be that many habitable worlds out there that can have water and have optimal temperature that would be able to harbor life. So I think yes, aliens are out there, but it's impossible to predict what they would be like. Like they could literally be like
You can't.
floating. Yeah, they could literally be like floating fucking particles of information, and you just don't know. Like
Hmm.
they could be anything. It could
Okay,
be something
so-
completely unfathomable to us that we can't imagine or we can't see how this has come to be.
But I'd definitely fucking rather Paul than a xenomorph. Cunt. That's for
Okay, so aliens have come to Earth. Here's the situation. What would, in your mind, what would it look like right now? Like, give us an illustration.
I'd hope it'd be a civil encounter and not just fucking like aliens terrorizing Earth. That would be, I don't know. It's such a, I don't know. It's such a hard answer, such a hard question to answer
Just in your mind, what would the aliens look like?
I think a question that's probably easier to answer is would you want them to look like rather than what you think that would look like.
Pamela Anderson in a red bikini, probably.
Okay,
But
boy, let's take a
where do
DM.
you think, like we've gotten this idea of that, like the typical like green alien, big head, big eyes with antennas. You know, where do you think we got that image from?
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good
very
question,
good.
actually.
Because everyone, whenever you think of alien, that's what you think of that.
That's just popular culture, though, that's created
Yeah.
that image of a standard alien. But there's also many other images of aliens and stuff that are quite common.
Like, have you guys seen the supposedly leaked photos from Area 51 where they're on the surgical tables in there?
no, I haven't seen those.
They're like humanoid, yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty human. They're like shriveled humans with like very elongated limbs, like a
Yeah.
little bloated stomach, like what you'd expect to see in a movie. Who knows if they're actually from Area 51?
I find it hard to imagine if we were to find aliens or if aliens were to visit us that they'd be humanoid. Because
Why's that?
I think they're most like them because Earth is obviously really really developed in terms of its biodiversity and all kinds of species and that kind of thing. Potentially, many other planets would just have, they could be further back in terms of their development of life or further forward. So they could be very small organisms just living within water. So
Yeah, well, in terms
similar to fish or that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, in terms of structure and whatnot, it's very unlikely that they are like us in terms of two legs, two arms standing.
Yeah.
It could be as like similar to, I don't know, say a crocodile, but is more advanced in terms of brain capacity.
Yeah, but you take into account obviously that many other planets. There's never going to be a planet that's exactly like Earth that has all the same kind of made up of the same kind of compounds.
Well,
same level of
mathematically,
gravity.
I'd argue that, to be honest.
Well, yeah, but in our near immediate neighbors, like surrounding galaxies and that sort of thing, there's going to be different levels of gravity. There's going to be different concentrations of gases and that kind of thing in the atmosphere. There's going to be different lights, different temperatures, all that kind of thing, and it's all going to affect. And it's all going to make the life on that planet look different to what ours is.
But
Agreed.
wouldn't it have
Yep.
to be sort of similar kind of conditions for it to have life on that planet?
Yes, but that planet could
Earth
also
is
have.
like in the perfect spot, perfect temperature to have life. So wouldn't another planet having life have to have those same similar conditions?
Not necessarily. I mean, that planet could have.
life can adapt in like way different circumstances.
Yeah,
But the life will. That's why the life will be so different, and it's unlikely that they are humanoid because it's such different conditions. But yeah, I have no doubt in my mind that they exist. Whether or not this Area 51 fiasco is actually where they are, I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't know.
Have you seen the theories where they think that there might be life like under Pluto or planets like other moons like in our solar system? Because
Pluto's not a moon, mate. It's a dwarf planet.
I know, but I meant other moons. Oh, fuck off. Anyway. So
Are
I was
you
gonna
sure?
go.
Yeah, go. Are you sure it's Pluto? Because Pluto's like fucking. That's like the
No, I
furthest
know.
dwarf
No,
planet, so
the
it's
theory-
like really cold and shit.
But that's the theory is because it's like mainly an ice dwarf
Yeah.
planet, whatever.
Yeah,
The theory is
so
that
it's
they
got
have
water.
like water underneath it
Yeah.
and that life, because water is essential, I guess, for life as we know.
As we know, yeah.
So
What do you mean by under the planet?
so it's like an ice sheet, and then in like the planet itself, it's got like liquefied.
Right.
Yeah, because I think the average temperature on Pluto is something like negative 500 degrees Celsius. But obviously, like Earth, Pluto has a hot core, which basically gives the planet life. So obviously, further down underneath Pluto's surface, where it's warmer, that ice that's on its surface would melt and create water.
Yeah.
And you'd find like deformed fish, like what you'd find
But
on Earth.
potentially, I think is what Robert's saying.
Yeah.
And this is a bunch of good speculation and all, but here's a cold hard fact for you. Josh would be the first to freaking alien. Money on that.
Mate,
Just to say he's done it.
I'm almost.
Yeah, fuck
almost-
oath I would. Imagine being able to tell your mates that you freaked an alien.
No,
Legendary.
mate, I'm 100% certain you've already fucked an alien by seeing some of those you've gone to.
It'd be like Men in Black, like they're disguised inside our society.
Be like one of those reptile people, but they're the top 1%. So I'd be very intrigued if it were one of the reptile people.
All right, so now that we've concluded that we all believe there are aliens out there, do you think some have made it to our atmosphere or are currently on Earth?
Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, it's
No,
true.
I'm serious, man.
Justin
God, have
Bieber's
you?
an
He's
alien
definitely
too,
an
isn't he?
He has to be a reptile.
Trump. Got it.
Yeah. Who else? Do you guys know of any others in the reptile theory? I know it's the Zuck. It's got to be,
Clinton.
but like Bill
Yeah.
Clinton.
It's in it.
Hillary Clinton.
There was
Elon Musk was included in that as well, wasn't he?
There was a video of Bieber with an interview with him, and his eyes flicker like a reptile.
Oh, Miley Cyrus does the same thing as well.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
So
weird.
creepy, bro.
yeah. I'll also tell you it's fucking video shopped. But anyway,
Yeah, but
it's
like-
still creepy.
Have you seen the hyper realistic 3D masks that are coming out now?
no.
Like, surely you've seen the one of the baby,
Oh
the
yeah,
hyper realistic baby mask, or like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
hyper-realistic Trump mask.
yeah.
Yeah, like the reptiles could have just had that centuries ago, and they just use it on us. And now it's got to be like Mission Impossible for them, where it's so skin tight they get to do the big reveal at the end.
What if we're the only humans and everyone else is an alien? Like that movie, what's that fucking Edgar Wright movie where they go in the pub and like everyone's a fucking like
This is the end.
the world's end or some
World's
shit?
End, yeah, World's End.
Yeah,
Yeah, some shit like that.
it's us five, the only.
Just
the
us
only-
five, the only humans.
No, we could be reptiles under this skin layer.
No, I promise I'm not. But no, legitimately. Do you think aliens have made it to Earth?
There's a chance.
Yes,
I think so.
yes, but I don't think they're currently here.
Do you
Some of the things you can see that I think indicate that aliens have visited Earth is like if you look at some ancient ruins of like say like Egypt and stuff, like how were the pyramids built? Like
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing, Ryan.
like what the fuck? They're all perfectly faced north. Like that's before compasses and shit were invented.
for any listeners that are unsure of what we're talking about, basically, scientists have hypothesized that it is actually impossible for the pyramids to have been built without like high scale construction equipment like what we've got today. So, as in like cranes and that kind of thing, because the bricks are like so heavy and shit. So they're basically saying that everything we know about how they were built is bullshit and it wouldn't have been able to happen back in that time. So a theory that's been about recently is that aliens constructed the pyramids for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I've seen stuff with like where some of their hieroglyphics look like that alien sort of picture,
Yeah.
like the big head. They like look.
Yeah,
the
the ones with the deformed heads.
Yeah.
Right.
Like what? Like how? Where did they get the idea for that?
But I've heard something. It's just pictures of the pharaohs because the royal family in Egypt was so incestuous that you'd end up with like these major. So I've heard speculation that it's just pictures of these children of incest with deformities.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
So they are the aliens.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah, but if you actually think about the pyramid, like that's so unfathomable. Like to think about, especially being built back then. Like, what's the do you guys know how much one of those bricks weighs, or
Isn't it
the
like
size? The size of it?
It's like each brick is like 1 ton.
It would have taken apparently 50 humans to lift one of those stones.
Yeah, and Hunter, it's actually 2.3 tons each.
So it would have
still like
2.3 tons. That's what. And how large are they? Do you know?
Massive. They're fucking huge.
Have you been to Egypt?
No, I just know.
Oh, okay.
I just know a lot of shit.
Like logistically, how many people would you say would need? Like, would it be possible to pick it up with people?
Well, wasn't the whole thing about it was the invention of the pulley system?
Yeah, they definitely did have machinery that invented, kind of.
Yeah, get
The aliens
fucked. There was the
probably told
aliens.
them
There was 100%. There's no
But, like-
fucking way, dude.
Yeah.
Same thing with Stonehenge in England, which some have hypothesized is kind of like a compass for.
Is that
or
Easter
a-
Island? All
or
the
a
heads
clock
underneath
for
the bird?
aliens. Yeah, Easter Island, same thing.
Easter Islands. What about them?
They've got look up Easter Island statues.
Yeah, they
Dude,
go
just
deep
do
as
that real
fuck
quick.
into the
There's like-
ground.
There's like all these like monuments and shit on Easter Island in the Pacific.
Does anyone know what they're dated? Because I know they weren't found until like 200 maybe years ago, but I know they weren't. They were like under the ground, like they weren't found for a while.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've also seen that like a lot of these historical sites, apparently they like all line up in a perfect line across the world or something like that.
Well, like on the equator or something.
Yeah,
Because that would
it's
make
like
sense.
it's like an equator
Egypt
line, but it's not.
and
But like on
Like-
an angle.
Where are the mines?
Something like that.
Somewhere in South America.
Yeah. No, I think they've kind of debunked that theory though, that line, because I think they just said because I think they had math back then, so they ended up calculating it all. I don't know, but that's what I've heard.
So, do you think Area 51 is the hotspot for aliens or not?
No, Area
Nah.
52.
Yeah, it's
Nah.
probably
Where's the other 50 areas?
But it wouldn't surprise me if the government had some like secret place where they keep shit that they don't want people to find.
I reckon Area 51's probably like the big distraction. So
Yeah.
everyone can
Yeah.
speculate that that's where the aliens are, but really they're kept in like someone's
There'd
backyard
be
or
too
some
many.
shit.
Yeah, there'd be too many people snooping around.
I
Yeah.
think it wasn't. I think they were actually there until the Storm Area 51 event, and then they got moved, and now they'll be somewhere else.
They got transported in little trucks.
Yeah, yeah, because they were afraid like 3 million people were gonna Naruto run into Area 51.
That was pretty fucking sick.
Didn't someone die trying to actually do it and got shot?
Did they?
I think
Wow.
so, yeah.
I saw a video of somebody like going across the fence and then coming straight back. Like they went under the barrier and then just came straight back. And they were posting like, "Oh, one person got in, one person made it."
Well, fucking Rucka and Riley Reid, they were there as well, and there was only like a couple hundred of them.
Yeah, I saw that
Overall.
video. That was funny as fuck.
Yeah, it was because the U.S. government said this is private property. If you intrude, we're gonna
We'll
open
shoot.
fire. And then everyone's like, "Oh shit, maybe we shouldn't do this."
Yeah, maybe it's not a good idea. It got pretty big though, hey, like everyone was reporting on it.
Yeah,
It
and
got
even if
massive,
aliens
bro.
aren't there, there's some secrets there. Like,
Those things always get hyped up though, and then no one fucking turns up.
Yeah.
Just the meme of it.
Do you reckon, like, so if aliens are being kept currently, would you say they're all like alive, or would they have been killed and just been kept as monuments or whatever?
following
I think they'd
along,
want to study them.
You mean like something like
Keep 'em
Walt
alive.
Disney's head?
Hey,
As in something like Disney's head, as in that kind of monument.
who?
Walt Disney
Disney's head.
cryogenically frozen. Some say his
Didn't
head,
he-
some say his whole body.
Yeah, I thought it
but
was his whole
apparently
body, wasn't it?
he's still alive down there in the vaults of Disney.
Oh,
Yeah, he probably is the cunt.
Yeah, well, apparently he's a massive sexist and racist. So imagine if he came out in another 50 years, people would love him.
Yeah.
it'd be like Futurama.
So,
He
so,
gets
Tim,
frozen.
so Tim and the aliens down there frozen, you reckon?
I don't. Well, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I feel like if aliens are like smart enough to get to Earth when we're not able to like get to these other places where there is life or find it, there's no way they're getting fucking held captive by us. Like there's
Yeah,
no.
true.
Yeah,
I reckon that'd be stupid as well. If the like whatever government in the world it is was to hold on to aliens, because if an alien manages to get to Earth, that is just proof that it's got technology
Far superior
capable of
than
doing
us.
that. Yeah, far superior than ours. So if we're holding aliens from a more developed race prisoner, that is
Yeah,
just
cunt.
flat out declaring war. Like we're half a chance to just get fucking our planet blown up.
Legit. Yeah. Yeah.
You reckon we'll ever have the technology to be able to go find aliens,
It's hard to say, but I don't
Different-
think so.
universes, and whatever? Or
Oh,
galaxies,
I
whatever it's
wouldn't.
called?
I wouldn't put it past us. We're advancing at a crazy speed. So
I think that
It'll still take
the
forever.
problem is the problem is the power. The Earth doesn't have a power source nowhere near strong enough to be able to travel light years
that we
Like-
know of.
that we know of.
Elon
I
Musk
highly
will
doubt
think
that
of
there is.
something.
So
No. Well.
if
that's-
we were to get a fuel to like travel to in like other galaxies, we would need to get a fuel from somewhere else in the universe.
Yeah,
But do you
it
think-
might just be physically impossible. No matter how much technology advances, there's just no way we're going to be able to do
The
it.
only way I could think of would be black holes as a means of space travel.
I
But
think you've watched Interstellar a couple too many times for one. And
Who, me?
yes.
I've never seen it.
Good
Oh,
movie.
okay. Good movie. That's what they do. You should give it a watch.
Maybe I
Um,
should.
But like, think about how much we've advanced with computers in the past 7 years. I don't think we've advanced that much with space travel, or just from what's reported, what I've seen. Like, we're still sending humans to the moon. Like, don't you think we'd be a bit past that by now?
Yeah. True.
The moon landing. I'm very doubtful.
Oh, you're one of
So
those.
well, why the fuck would we not have sent more people there since we sent them in what 1970s
Why would we need to go there?
to research to learn about the moon?
Yeah, it's sort of
We've
true.
learnt-
It's sort of
We've
true though.
learnt much though.
Hey,
We've learned so much about it. Though.
We've learnt.
yeah,
fuck all.
we've learned from afar, which is only
What have we learnt, Rob? Can you give me an example other than the moon isn't made out of blue cheese or whatever?
Mate, that's the only thing I know.
What
No,
have we learnt
that
about
is
the
that is very true though. Like, it'd be such a resourceful place to like just go scout and see if there's anything we can use. But no one's been there fucking like since really.
It's very expensive though, space travel. I think that's a big reason.
Nah, come
That's
on.
why
they
Elon
do
Musk
commercial,
now-
They do commercial flights there. Like,
No, they
sure, they're
don't.
expensive, but it wouldn't be like
To the
huge life
moon?
savings. Yeah, commercial flight. SpaceX, Elon Musk. I don't know if it still runs, but it was running at one point, commercial flights to the moon.
Yeah, wasn't it a one-way trip too?
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Legit, no, seriously.
Guy on the moon.
I read
what
that
you
there
live
was-
there?
there was a program that like they were gonna send people to. I think it
It's
was
for
the
Mars.
moon. Was it Mars?
Yeah, it's for Mars.
Oh, okay, well, yeah. Anyway, it was a one-way trip. So it was like,
Do
go
you
there
reckon-
and live the rest of your life there as long as you can, and yeah, experience Mars.
Do you reckon we'll ever have colonies on Mars?
Definitely.
Why not?
The Earth might go to shit. We all got to move there.
We're gonna have to, mate.
Why would you want to live on such an undeveloped planet?
Well, you would develop it.
Yeah, exactly. You have to-
Oh, you cultivate it. You'd be Matt Damon from that movie.
The Martian.
Potatoes.
We wouldn't be, for starters, we wouldn't be able to inhabit the moon, because if we were to build buildings on the moon the size of what some of ours on Earth are, that they would be too tall for the gravity of the moon to take effect.
Yeah,
So
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 you
we're
would.
talking about Mars.
So
Oh,
yeah,
ignore me.
No,
But
that's
still,
still a
Mars,
good point to
it's
bring
still a
up.
good point for Mars as well, I think, because the gravity on Mars is a bit less than what it is on Earth.
so just don't build big buildings.
They have different they've been designing different structures for Mars anyway.
Also,
Right.
the only way we would be able to inhabit Mars if there was a way to create water there, as in
There is
like
water.
what they did in The Martian. What?
There is water on Mars.
Yes, miles and miles underneath the surface, and definitely not enough.
What do you mean not enough?
What the fuck do you mean? Not
It doesn't
enough?
rain on Mars.
No, I
Yes,
swear.
No, there's weather on Mars. It literally
It
has
doesn't.
weather.
It doesn't rain, dude. There's no water in Mars'
Yeah, but-
atmosphere.
There's a theory out there that they go, if you potentially, which it would be very difficult to do, but if you potentially kind of cause like a global warming on Mars itself, it will kind of like kick it into action to kind of start like, I guess, cultivating like all its natural life. With
Yeah,
water.
and how are you going to create global warming on Mars? Is there a button on Mars that you can press that says global warming?
No, it's called putting coal and lighting it up.
Like
letting
the
that go
Ice
in the
Age
atmosphere.
on Earth.
Yeah,
That's what
button
it's
for
in
that
at the
too.
moment. It's at an ice age phase.
Yeah, so Sid the Sloth's out there on Mars,
Yeah.
and he's going to cultivate the natural environment.
I swear they discovered water on Mars's surface. Was
Well, they
that-
did. Have you seen the white on the picture of Mars? It's
Yeah.
just ice.
Yeah, well there you go. So we're set. We're going to Mars when the Earth's all fucked up.
Nah.
We will. Well,
The human race, mate. The human race will not survive on Mars because there is not enough water on Mars.
mate, you just put a big fucking glass bowl over it, like in The Simpsons, and you just live in it.
Rate that idea.
Thank you.
You are that is.
Like-
You are
like,
just putting you are
it'd
just
just be
putting
like-
non-intellectual in the name of our podcast single-handedly right now.
But how do you know that there's not enough water?
Because there's not.
Yeah,
How do you
yeah.
fucking know?
You can't
We
say
literally-
that.
Don't you
we
understand how
literally
water
live-
works? When it's packed in, that's why it becomes a solid, yeah? So it looks like it's less than it actually is.
You know, Mars is taking into account the bits that potentially are frozen on the surface. It's still 99% desert. You know what desert means? It means there's no water.
You're a dickhead.
Yeah, but Josh, you're basing your knowledge on current technology. There's so much shit that we haven't discovered and that we will invent that will probably make it possible. And especially
Yeah, so if you've got a piece of technology that creates water and can do so indefinitely, then yes, we could inhabit Mars. But until then, if we're going to need to move planets for whatever reason, we need to find another habitable planet like Earth.
What are you going to
yeah.
make water from other than water? Like, you can't make water
Right.
from dirt.
No, hydrogen and 2 oxygen.
Yeah.
So if you were to make you,
But
if
what,
you
what
were to
resource
create-
what resource do you have to take from in order to create that
gases.
magnitude?
gases in the atmosphere, I suppose, hydrogen and oxygen gases.
And then would that leave enough of those to sustain life?
Potentially not. That's a problem.
And that's another can of worms, I guess.
Yeah.
That's
what
what
I'm saying.
that's
If we're to move planets, it's going to be much easier to find, provided we can travel there, to find another planet similar to Earth that has water in plentiful amounts.
what
Isn't
yeah, go on, Rob.
I was just gonna say, I think the closest one that there is like a close planet that looks like very like habitable, but it's like a light years away. So like even if we were to manage, you know, like to travel in, I guess I think we technically can't travel at the speed of light. I think it's like in physics, it's like impossible for us to do.
Yeah, it is.
So we will never reach that speed. So it will take us, even if we do get like better sources, it'll still take forever, kind of thing. So I guess like a hibernation type thing might be the most plausible.
As in, like, I forgot
that
the movie,
movie
but
with
that
Chris
one
Pratt.
where he
Yeah.
they're hibernating and he wakes up.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Oh,
movie.
with
They do it in Avatar as well.
Jennifer
Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I was gonna say before was I watched so do you guys know Doctor, I think his name's Doctor Grier.
No.
He's sort of like I don't know how to explain him. He's a fucking alien doctor pretty much. But he was on Joe Rogan and he apparently worked in Area 51 and he was discussing like what his job entailed, and it was basically reverse engineering alien technology, which they apparently do have. So it was like basically what he said was this power source that he found on one of their ships, or whatever he said, or an extract of their ships, was power that we don't understand. Like they could power like something huge with a tiny amount of space. And he said it's nothing like they've seen. Apparently, this is what he said. So I don't know how true it is, but definitely an interesting watch. And that's what I'm saying. We don't. There's technology we don't know about yet, but might discover.
This guy would have like an NDA or something signed. Like that. This guy's probably that like talking that much shit.
Well, watch it. His
Yeah,
name.
he probably just talks all this shit so he gets on bloody Joe Rogan podcast.
No, well, he discusses a lot of that side of things, and like the dangers of it all. But I don't know. Give it a watch. I was skeptical about it, but there's some pretty cool shit. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, I've got a question. Would any of you, given the opportunity that Elon Musk is proposing, would any of you actually take it and go to live on Mars, that one-way trip?
One way.
No way. No way.
I'd do it if I was a bit older.
Would you, for the ones that are against it, would you do it for any like a certain amount of money?
Mate,
What's
what's
to spend the money on?
what's
Mars?
yeah,
Money
what's
doesn't mean anything on Mars.
Let's just say like
You can't drive a
200K.
fucking Lambo around on bloody Mars.
I don't know. You can have good food. Who knows? You're gonna have
No,
vegan.
no
food.
meat up there. No cows.
Mate, there's probably space cows underneath the ice.
I'd do it if I was like
I'd frig a space cow.
80,
80, yeah.
80 and
Yeah, 80. Yeah, I'd do it. Maybe 80.
crippled up. But definitely not now. Fuck that.
Yeah.
I was surprised at the amount of people that actually signed up for it. Or
Yeah,
put their name down for it. I don't know when it's happening or if it will happen, but
I think it's like 10 to 20 years or something like that.
yeah.
As a bit of a tease for next week's episode, I wonder what Hector's opinion would be on harming aliens. If we would eat aliens.
Aliens are not sentient beings.
If an alien attacks, you cannot hit it back.
Yeah. Anyway, something I wanted to bring up on the podcast for this week was if any of you boys have actually had an alien experience or something you consider to be could potentially be linked to aliens.
Personally, I've never seen anything in the air that resembles like a UFO or whatever. So no, personally, I haven't. I haven't seen anything and been like, "What the fuck is that?" No.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
Yeah. Me either.
But
I
I've
had,
been looking for it.
yeah, but
I reckon
usually
if you're
people.
looking for UFOs, you'd find something.
Go out one night. Oh, look up.
That's good logic. One thing I've been doing lately, just because of ISO, is I guess it's kind of like it's kind of like a form of meditation. I'll just, if I'm bored or if I just want to have some time to myself, I'll just when like night comes around, I'll just go lay out in my backyard, like, and look up the stars and just suss it out and see what's going on. I find it quite relaxing, but one thing that surprised me is it's actually crazy if you actually take the time to spend looking up how many like shooting stars, so like comets and asteroids and that kind of thing, and how many satellites and all that kind of stuff that you can actually see. It's actually really cool. Space is so busy
Yeah.
in terms of
Okay.
everything flying around and everything going on.
Have you guys seen the photos of space junk?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, like all it's just all this trash that orbits Earth.
What? Just like what trash? Like metals and shit.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is, whether like maybe destroyed satellites or like uh pieces of whatever that have gotten up there. All those helium balloons you let out, maybe. Um,
Can,
yeah, there's
maybe that can solve our pollution problem. Just send all that
yeah,
shit up into space and leave it there.
there's all these things that are just outside of Earth's atmosphere, but are still, I guess, feeling the gravitational pull that just kind of circle around the
Mm.
Earth.
It'd be like a museum. You just chuck all your old shit up there. And then you go up
Yeah,
there
man.
and you see someone like,
Before too long, Earth's
old
going to end up
thing.
with their own like rings, as like Saturn,
Yeah,
except it's
yeah.
not rocks. It's just a whole bunch of metal and shit.
Yeah,
True.
I don't doubt that at all. But to more what you were saying with alien personal alien experience assaults. Have you guys heard of the Battle of Los Angeles?
No.
The movie.
No, maybe it has something to do with the movie, but in 1942, residents of Los Angeles reported a glowing, floating object over the city. Since it was war times, the army proceeded to shoot it with 1,400 anti-aircraft shells.
Anti-aircraft shells.
Eventually, it disappeared, but nobody can explain what it is to this day.
Yeah, so that's obviously like, oh, I don't know. Is that a reported story or what?
Yeah, multiple people can corroborate the story of this thing and like the army was shooting at it. So obviously you couldn't just have one person like tripping out. Like it'd have to be a couple of people being like, "Look up there, like what's that?"
Yeah, right. I've never heard of that, but there was something similar, in Melbourne that happened. Have you heard of like Westall UFO?
No.
It was like a thing that happened in 1966, I'm pretty sure, in Melbourne. And this was reported all over the news and shit. Like it was a massive story. So like around 200 students to this day like swear by like a UFO or something similar dropping in their school grounds, like hovering down to their school grounds and flying off. And like in interviews have been conducted, and like hundreds of students have said that they got told not to say anything about it, not to tell stories about it, not to say they saw it, and all that type of shit. Have you
Yeah,
heard?
like the men in black kind of came to their doors and was like, don't talk about this. No, seriously, there's in the US at least, there's like apparently this special investigation unit that wear all black suits and come to your door and tell you to not talk about anything.
Yeah,
exactly
legit.
like Men in
Yeah.
Black.
Yes,
They hit you
exactly
with
like
the,
Men in
they
Black.
hit you with the neuralizer.
Yeah, you're gonna wipe
Yeah.
your memory.
But
That's
I
why nobody
thought
knows about aliens.
I thought this was just like pretty cool though, because it's like so close to us, Melbourne, like 40 minutes away, and it's such a big story. Like it's hard for 200 people to be that delusional and all just for some reason say, "Oh fuck, I saw like this unidentified flying object land in my school."
It's
Like,
crazy to think about because Australia is actually a known hotspot for UFO sightings.
is it?
Yeah, legit. Certain parts of Australia are particularly susceptible as well.
Yeah, right.
Like a much higher concentration of people claiming to see UFOs and that kind of thing.
And do you think that just has like a nature element to it? Like it's
Because we have such vast space or whatever.
yeah, like a mirage in the desert type thing?
Maybe. Or maybe aliens are just more likely to want to hover over Australia, considering considering when you look at satellite image of Earth from space at night, it's like pretty much all the like through Asia and through Europe and like the Americas, it's just all lit up like light pollution, whereas Australia and Africa are still pretty much completely in darkness.
True.
So
And Australia's just fucking sick, cunt. Who wouldn't want to go there?
Yeah, aliens.
yeah, they
vibing.
see that the pubs are open and the surf's pumping, and then
Yeah, exactly. Paradise, mate. All right, I got another question for you boys.
Hit us.
If aliens visited Earth, which human would you pick to go and greet the alien species?
Of us five or out of everyone?
No, out of anyone in the world. Who's representing Earth?
I'd pick Stephen Hawking.
He's dead, bro.
Is dead.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Didn't you know that, cunt?
No.
Oh, rip.
aliens
100%
took him.
Elon. Elon, 100%.
Yeah, he's fucking dead, bro.
Nah, fuck Elon. We want to have someone that's a meme.
Joe
Yeah,
Rogan.
Elon is a meme.
Joe Exotic.
Yeah, Joe Exotic.
He looks like a fucking alien anyway.
Once he gets presidential pardoned, we'll go get him to greet the aliens.
I reckon like a Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh yeah.
I reckon that'd be a good bet.
Well, do you know the movie or the animation Monsters vs Aliens and how the president comes out and starts playing? the music?
Yeah.
Bro,
Remember
that's
the meme I
fucking
made?
Trump. 100%.
Don't you remember the meme I made of that in year 10? Except it wasn't the president doing the dancing on the piano. It was
It will bleep that name out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but nah, fucking Donald Trump would be a funny fucking encounter.
No, he'd start a war. He'd make us get fucking invaded.
you just walk up to the alien and go, China.
We need someone like intimidating, maybe like The Rock or something.
Yeah,
Just like, oh
true.
fuck, these cunts are big.
Arnie.
Yeah,
Get
nah.
Arnie to greet the aliens.
Yeah, Arnie, that'd be a good one.
I got a hypothetical for you. You ready?
Alright.
So, wake up in the morning, get out of bed, fucking go for a piss, open up the toilet door, and you see an alien shitting on your toilet. What do you do?
I close the door because that's just a polite thing to do, right? You know, oh, my bad.
You put the alien on all fours and you frick vigorously.
Of course you say that, cunt. Out of all people. No, but okay, legitimately though, if you saw an alien, right? If you fucking bumped into an alien or just, I don't know, saw one, what would you do?
I'd probably faint, to be honest.
Yeah?
Yeah, probably. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'd run.
You'd run.
Yeah, fuck trying to fight those cunts. You'd faint, cunt.
No,
They don't want to fight. They just want to use your toilet, bro. Like,
I'd honestly,
they might have snuck in through there.
I'd honestly probably like shit bricks. Yeah, I actually probably would faint, like realistically.
Yeah.
But-
I hate to say it, but that's probably the only way.
I'd be like, hold up. Let's get a selfie here.
I'm taking a photo of that. I'll be famous as
and an alien on the fucking
first guy
toilet.
to see an alien.
That'd be sick though, like just fucking having a chat with an alien. But again, we probably have seen aliens, cunt, because they're, as we said, they're not humanoid. Like it could have been like, I don't know, anything. Like
Well,
Yeah, that's why they to try and find aliens, they have like radio signals. Like before we had all this thermal imaging and whatnot, they've always sent out radio signals just as far as we can to see if we get anything back. And that's why we got the WOW signal in 1977.
What's that?
The WOW signal is a 72-second burst of sound that had connections to be something interstellar. But like in 77, you kind of be like,
Yeah.
Mm.
Wait,
Well,
so
there are
so
Sorry,
the
go ahead.
WOW signal is a signal that we received back. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, essentially.
So
And
what?
it's called the WOW signal because the dude circled it and he went, wow.
Wow.
Maybe we're aliens.
No, we are.
We
Like we just
would
got
be aliens.
we came from a
we would
different
be
planet
alien.
and we just don't remember it.
No,
Maybe.
yeah, well, we are alien to fucking other things.
Well, don't you know how when the Earth was created, like the theory behind it was like all these like asteroids and shit would like hit into it, and that basic bacteria or whatever that organism was traveling and was like one of the first to be on Earth. I guess that's how life started. That's their theory. So technically, we are aliens of sorts.
No, well, alien just fucking means like alien is literally
yeah.
a word for different or whatever. Like, so
You're not of this world. You're of a different world. That's
no,
it.
not even. Like being alienated is like being secluded and being like.
True.
So it's like if we saw like different life forms on another planet, we are their aliens. So that's all it means. But yeah,
But yeah, I was going to say earlier, there's a lot of theories though that actually suggest otherwise in terms of the most intelligent life would be humanoid, like to some degree.
Why
So-
though?
Well, I don't know. Well, I feel like for us, for example, like our biggest benefit, our biggest skill set, I guess, is we're like the best long distance runner, and we are.
What's that?
That's
What's that got
well,
to do
that's
with being
why
the most
as a
advanced
human,
life?
there we probably adapted to be able to use all of that shit to actually, traverse and expand our population.
Rob, that is not why the human race is on top. You idiot.
Besides being intelligent, cunt, obviously.
Oh, I can fucking run marathons and shit.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure, like for example, like a lion is like a faster runner than us and can traverse land better, but we are far
Faster.
superior.
No, they're fast. It's actually proven they're faster, obviously, but we're better long distance.
This
What
cunt-
about,
Anyway.
what about dogs?
Who's
This
to
is
train an animal to run like a marathon?
Stamina's
that
just better. Our stamina's just better.
I've just
And I
lost
can- I
60
can-
brain cells, cunt.
I can almost guarantee that no matter how much more developed an alien race is, none of their technology would be able to help Rob run a marathon.
Yeah, fuck, that's true, eh?
Fucking hell.
Fuck. Anyway, boys. I reckon that was a pretty interesting potty.
Yeah.
I've just got an unrelated story to this week's topic that I'd just like to bring up and get your boys' opinions on it.
I'd love
Okay.
to hear it.
You can be the first non-intellectual question. We'll test drive it.
Nah, it's just a news story that that popped up a couple of days ago, and I just
All right.
wanted to share.
Yeah.
And so it's mum drinks sperm smoothies to fight off the coronavirus. A mother of two believes that drinking smoothies with a shot of sperm have helped to boost her immune system and is helping prevent the coronavirus. Tracy Kiss, 32, says she's not had the cold or flu for 3 years because of her concoction, which is made using donations from her boyfriend, and she takes 3 shots a week.
Who posted this news
And-
story?
Surprise, surprise, she's a vegan.
Yeah.
Metro News.
Is she from New Zealand?
No, it's an American
Because-
news. So
because,
it's from the US.
There's a festival in New Zealand where they do horse cum milkshakes,
Oh,
nice.
skills, bro.
and I know you've heard of Crazy Horse Girls, but I mean like that's probably it's a
That's
step far.
another level. Yeah, look, good on her. I mean, why not?
So if don't bother downloading the COVID Safe app. Drink sperm.
That's a go.
Correct.
Is she an anti-vaxxer?
I haven't read the full story, but if I scroll down, I'm sure I'll find it written there somewhere. There is photos of her like holding fucking ice trays filled with spunk. She's
so
taking
fucked.
taking it out of the freezer and shit.
That is so
And
fucked.
she's actually quite like she's very attractive too.
Yeah,
If she's still got a boyfriend,
shit.
if she's asking her boyfriend to fucking have jerk off into a fucking jar every week.
I'm wondering what happens if she breaks up with her boyfriend. Where's she gonna get her sperm from?
sperm donor.
The deep web.
One of
Yeah,
them.
true.
One of them. All right, I was actually going to ask a question before we ended. I just forgot about it.
Okay.
Just like, it's a stupid question, but it's pretty fucking funny. All right, what's your opinion? Is cereal soup? Because I say yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Like with milk? Yeah.
Yeah,
Without
with milk,
milk.
cereal. Like,
No. Yeah, with milk. Yeah, without milk. No.
No, yeah, but if you could say the same about soup, you could say vegetables and chicken without the broth is just
Yeah.
vegetables and chicken.
Yeah.
But you add that and then it's soup.
all right, shut the fuck up. Thanks, guys.
No,
for
no, no, no.
listening.
Here's one question along the same lines. Is it almond milk or is it almond sauce?
Oh,
Oh, what do you mean?
What do you
Because you
think?
can't milk almonds, bro.
I would argue that it's almond juice.
Juice, yeah.
Almond juice.
I'd rate that.
Yeah,
I
all
do
right.
not know anything about the process of making almond milk.
Armand.
And also, before we finish the app, we've had our first question sent in for the
Bullshit.
potty. Yeah,
What?
no shit.
Really?
Yeah, I
From-
took the liberty of
From where?
posting onto my Snapchat story and saying, currently recording a podcast, please send in your questions. To
Oh,
be
well,
answered
hurry-
by the
hurry
next
up.
All right, okay, let's
Go
do it.
on.
Let's do it.
Quickly.
From an esteemed Daniel F. He asked, does giving yourself the nickname King August mean your ego's too large? Rob asked me to ask himself, or does it mean he just has a huge penis? Serious question here, not a joke. Ryan, would you like to answer that question?
Yeah. Fucking odd.
I think calling yourself a king means your ego is too large and your penis is too small.
I vote huge cock. All right.
What is the King of August?
He's definitely compensating.
Oh, fuck you all.
Anyway, thanks for the question. Appreciate it. Yeah, that was a fucking funny app, guys. Cheers and
Shout out Daniel.
shout out Daniel F, whoever that may be.
And the other thing is, please tune in to the next episode.
Because it will be very fucking topical, exciting, and blood may be fucking shed.
I can tell you right now to whoever is listening to this podcast, do not miss next week. It will be the best one yet.
It'll be
I can
carnage.
promise you that.
All right, cheers, guys. Catch you later.
See you all.
See ya.
See ya.